Do. How about that? It's just about 7 o'clock and time for Ask Chris Anything. If you're into Google Photos, then Chris is the person you want to ask about this stuff. Hi, everyone. I'm Jim, and
I'm Chris.
and we're Geeks on Tour. Chris wrote this book about Google Photos. She wrote the book a couple of times. And this one says it's 2021, but actually it's a living book. So we'll talk a little bit about that during this. We have a bunch of people here and a lot of questions that we want to get to. What do you want to do first, Chris?
Yeah, we got a lot of questions came in before the show. So let's start with a few of those, but then you'll need to be marking the comments over here that are actually questions so that we don't miss them.
Okay.
And
So
hello, everybody, and good to see some Google Photos fans here. I do think it is the best way to manage your lifetime of photos, but it's pretty there's still a lot to know.
there's a lot to it.
Even though it's fairly simple, there's a lot to know. So I just want to jump right in and get to the questions because we have a lot.
Okay. You have them up here. Let's go with how about this one? Barry says, "Why does Google Photos not have a red eye delete feature?"
Well, first of all, let me just confirm that you're correct. Google Photos does not have a red eye correction feature. And I don't know exactly why, except for to say that most of us, Google Photos was kind of created for the smartphone photography age, and they don't get red eyes, and most cameras these days have a way to work the flash so that you don't get a red eye. So that's all I can say. If you still have Picasa, I was a big fan of Picasa back in the day. It has a great red eye filter if you really need it.
Okay. How do I get all of my old photos out of Picasa that won't transfer?
Speaking of Picasa,
Chris wrote the book on Picasa too, you know.
but Picasa has been retired since 2018,
Hmm.
completely retired. So it does not work with it will still work on your computer, but
PC's you know, doesn't work on Mac
it
anymore.
doesn't work on Macs at all anymore, right? Unless you have an old Mac. And so how do you get your old photos out of Picasa? Picasa cannot transfer at all. It just can't do it anymore. They killed that. But realize that your photos aren't in Picasa. Picasa is just seeing the photos that are in folders on your computer. So you just need to learn the methods for uploading photos from your computer to Google Photos. And the video, I'm going to be referencing some of my videos a lot tonight. So let me show you what I mean. So that says look at video 671. So how would you do that? You want my screen, Jim? First of all, the really easy way to do it.
You have to share your own screen. I can't share your. Oh wait, there you
At,
go.
yeah, of course you can.
Sorry,
You can do
I can do
anything.
anything.
You are the master of the
I'm not
universe.
used to it. Usually we're sitting together and she's kicking me to do
I
these
know,
things.
and I'm
Now
up in
she's upstairs.
when you're downstairs. Okay, so geeksontour.com, I said watch video 671. All you have to do is go to geeksontour.com/671 and enter, and it should take you right there. If perchance it doesn't, or for you to see all the videos that are available, you click on the tutorials menu and all videos. And you will see what 738 right now, and it's growing all the time. Now, some of these are for members only. A lot of them are not, though. So if you are a member, great, and thank you very much. That's how you make our work possible, and you would be able to watch any of them. But even if you aren't a member, go ahead and try. A lot of them are free and available for non-members. So and it's 671. Where was 671? 671 says GP, that means Google Photos. Anything that starts with GP is a Google Photos, and it's gather to drag and drop. So that's talking about gathering photos from your computer with a drag and drop method. So that's what you'd need to do. Next.
There we go. I'm seeing 3 bars on the bottom left corner of several of my Google Photos when I view them on my Windows 10 PC. Do you know what they are?
This is a cool one. It's a relatively new feature, and if you see these three bars on the lower left corner, yeah, you see them on the phone version as well as on the computer. It means that there is a description. It means that you've written some words. Let me see if I can find one here. I take so many pictures that I don't get the chance to write too much on them. Gee, I thought I had one not too far back though. All right there, right there. You see those? You see those little 3 bars? That means that on this picture, there is a description. There are words written on that picture. Very nice. And it encourages me to write more descriptions on my pictures. Okay.
Okay, that's that one. Linda wants to know, I have a Pixel 5, so I have free unlimited storage for Google Photos. How does that apply to photos uploaded from my computer? Free no more.
It doesn't. Yeah, the free no more is my parentheses, because I'll show you what you the unlimited free storage that is continuing if you have a Google Pixel is just for pictures from the phone, from the Google Pixel. Now, I have heard of people who have copied the pictures from their computer to their Pixel phone and then uploaded from there, and they came in for free. But that's kind of that's a loophole. As far as I know, it does work, but the loophole could be closed at any time. That free no more is to remind me to show you how you can get to the article where I wrote all about this issue. So once again, if you go to Geeks on Tour, and then what I'm talking about here is an article. So up in the very top under in the search bar, if you type free no more, you will come to, this is actually in our December 2020 newsletter, free no more. Click there and then scroll down. And Google Photos free unlimited storage is ending. And here's everything you need to know, including the information about the Pixel. Okay.
Okay. Hillary wants to know, how do I stop my Google Photos from automatically sucking up every WhatsApp image in my Android?
Okay, for that, I want to show my Android phone. And WhatsApp pictures are considered part of your library, and they are photos on the device. So I don't know if I have any, but for example, Instagram would be the same thing. So Google Photos is seeing that there are photos on this device that came from Instagram. And notice that little cloud with the line through it? That's saying, no, Google Photos, do not upload those. because anything I've posted in Instagram came from Google Photos, so I don't want them up there again. So if yours are going, I would assume that means because you have this backup and sync turned on. So once again, that was Google Photos on the Android. Now iPhone doesn't have this. So you tap on Library, Photos on Device, find the one you want, and make sure that it is either turned on or off, whether depending on whether you want them in Google Photos or not.
Okay. And Burgess, is there any easy way to get photos and videos from the SD cards in my 30 trail cams into Google Photos? And you have a couple of videos.
Yeah, first let me explain. Burgess has such an interesting use for all his photos. He puts video cameras out in the forest where he is, and he gets animal, I guess they're motion detected or something, but so he has hours worth from lots of different cameras. So he's saying that he transfers those to his computer, and why aren't they going to Google Photos? Can you put the question up again so I remember what he No, you're on to something else? I
No,
have
it's
it.
right here.
I
Sorry.
have it here also. To get photos from the SD cards. Okay, so when you put the SD card into the computer, it's just like a drive. It's like any other drive. So there's a manual way and an automatic way to upload photos from your computer to Google Photos. And that's videos 705, I think, is the manual. No, probably the other way around. But anyway, 705 and 671 show how to do that. The automatic way is using Google Drive for desktop. And it's a little confusing. So if you can do it manually, that's really nice. But if you have hundreds of folders, then it might be a bit too much, and you need to get the Google Drive for desktop set up. And I know you're a longtime member, and if I can help you more, let me know.
Tom Park says, how can I get photos from my scanner to go to Google Photos?
I'm pretty sure that Tom is referring to kind of the same situations, that he scans a photo and they go to his computer, and they used to automatically go up to Google Photos with the software called Backup and Sync. Backup and Sync was discontinued last, I think it was October. So if this started happening to you about October, then that's why. Google Backup and Sync no longer works. You need to install Google Drive for desktop and turn on the settings for what folders you want to be uploaded to Google Photos. And that's video 705 and 706 are both about Google Drive for desktop.
Okay, another one, how to get photos from my phone posted on YouTube. It used to be easy from Google Photos, I remember.
I do too. That was so nice. You could go to YouTube and tell it to get videos from your Google Photos account. That stopped quite a while ago. So I think the best way, if you still have if you took the video with your phone, then you can open the video and tap share. And as long as the YouTube app is installed on your phone, you can share to YouTube. And video 637 shows you how to do that.
And one more, I have really appreciated being a member of Geeks on Tour and have learned a lot. I attend your YouTube sessions regularly and I've learned a lot there. I appreciate your help very much.
And we appreciate you being a premium member, Tom. You were one of our, we wrote you up in one of our newsletters once. Thanks.
We appreciate you. Absolutely. Marilyn, how, or could you refresh me on how to remove backgrounds for photos?
Well, Google Photos can't do it. And maybe you're thinking of the little video I made just recently on the Samsung Gallery's ability to remove objects from the background, but none of those will erase a whole background. But watch, there's something called remove.bg, and it is so quick and easy that I can demonstrate that for you. Let's do that. It's just a website, remove.bg, and then you upload an image. And for example, I think this one would be great for erasing the background. I just click upload, and boom, it's done. Is that easy and fun or what? And then you can download it. And as long as you're okay with a low resolution photo, it's free. I know nothing about the people who make remove.bg. I've just used it.
Oops.
Okay.
Okay, Linda, my Google account says I'm almost out of storage and it wants $199 a day, $1.99 a month. Do you suggest I do that, or should I clear out some pictures, or both?
Yeah, maybe both, but absolutely. I pay, it's not $1.99 a month or $20 a year. And I pay the $20 a year. That gives you 100 gigabytes. And yes, I think you should do that, because the whole reason for Google Photos is to not have to worry about working too hard,
And
deleting all the things.
I get to share that.
Good
So
point. And I rarely remember to mention that. It's
that's why I
$20 a year for up to 6 people to share that on a family plan. So yes, I think you should.
okay.
I see we're getting, several questions in on the comments. So,
Okay, well, we only have
but
how do you want to
okay,
do it? You want to go over there?
uh, up to you. I just
No, it's
people,
your show, baby.
well, people who are here live should probably get some
Okay.
questions answered.
I'll skip over there then, and let's see. I didn't star these, so I have to. Okay, facing issues with Drive for desktop files are not uploading. And there's a follow up. And when reinstalled Drive for desktop, data in the Google Drive for some folders is not visible in Google Drive. And this, the cloud symbol and green tick indicating storage online or offline, are not there in virtual drive.
Well, the virtual drive is not for Google Photos. I mean, there's two parts to Google Drive for desktop. There's Google Drive, which is in the cloud and can be synchronized to your computer. And then there's the ability for Google Drive for desktop just to send photos up to your Google Photos. Once they're in Google Photos, it's just Google Photos that you use. But and as far as errors or things not working, you need to send feedback or go to the forum. Or if you are a paid Google One subscriber, if you pay that $20 a year, you can get support, email support, and I think and phone support actually directly from Google, and that's worth a shot.
Okay, here's a new one. How do you easily get rid of duplicates in Google Photos?
A new one, yeah, okay. Everybody wants to get rid of duplicates, and sorry, I mean, someday I believe that Google has the technology that it can help us do that, but there is no implementation of that in Google Photos right now. It's strictly a manual process to get rid of
Yeah.
duplicates.
One thing that I like to emphasize is we're taking an awful lot of pictures of the same thing, and those aren't duplicates. Or maybe you're referring to duplicates as, a bunch of the same sunset or a bunch of the same landscape. And to Google Photos, those, even though they look almost identical, uh, they aren't really. So they're
Yeah,
different
very,
files.
very true. But there are, I do have
Oh, sure.
plenty of
Oh,
older
yeah.
photos.
Oh, yeah.
Not so much currently, but some of my older photos, I do have
Oh,
duplicates.
yeah.
So
Back in the old days, before Google Photos and everything was in the cloud, we used to keep these files, and we still do, keep them on computers, on hard drives. And we had to upgrade our computers, and then we had to bring our photos up to the new hard drives. And then we were making backups, and yeah, get a lot of that. So, all right. Janice wants to hear some good tips from Chris. You have any? Okay. Ron just finished cutting the lawn. Glad to hear that. Murray, good to see you. Right. It's a good time for you. Great.
yeah, we figured I don't like anything after like 4 o'clock in my time, but I realize that a lot of people do. So yeah, I'm glad you noticed that we scheduled things just for people who don't like afternoon.
And yes, we are recording this. It's being recorded for viewing later. The same link that got you here will get you there. So cool. Gene, good to see you. Gary. All right. So, Royal Highlands in Leesburg. Okay. Richard, good to see you, sir.
Hello, Richard.
And
Catherine.
Catherine, once you have an album, can you make a copy to share with other people without using the original?
Not quite sure what I mean, if you share an album with a link, that's the way I would recommend doing it. And if you don't want them to be able to mess anything up, then you just turn off the collaboration setting. Then it's basically like they're getting a copy. So because no, you can't copy photos in Google Photos because it really does not allow you to have more than one copy of the exact same picture. But so you just make an album, share with a link, and make sure to turn collaboration off. And what you're sending to people is basically a copy of your photos. Should be fine.
Oh, here's one of your neighbors. Hi, Jolyn. And Mead, good to see you. Bill. Okay, Tom's thanking you.
Good.
Somebody in Mission, Texas. Cool. Hope you're staying with Tucson. There was a big show there that we missed last week. Some people are just carried away sometimes. All right. Omer has a question. Let's see. With animals, you get green eye from flash rather than red eye. Do you know any ways to fix that?
Not with Google Photos. In Snapseed or in some more full featured, you can, you can just edit and change the color of pixels in there. You get green eye from flash rather than red eye.
Yeah.
The programs that fix red eye might fix green eye too. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know.
Okay. How do I delete multiple Google Photos from my
Okay.
PC with one swipe?
Now, I think he was one that we already did have in the other. So let me show you. I think you're talking about on a computer, right? So let me show you that. And if I wanted to delete these 6 pictures here, I think what you're doing, Al, is you're clicking just anywhere on the photo. And no, then you can only delete that one photo. But if you hover over it, notice that there's this little check mark in the upper left-hand corner. If you click that, then you're just selecting it. Then you can select more. and you can even shift, and then you can just click anywhere on the picture. So now I have all those selected, and then I can tap or click on the trash can, and I will delete them all. So I've even, oh, and I have a video on that where I've deleted thousands by just scrolling down and doing a shift click. And now notice it says 83 are selected. Scroll down some more and another shift click, and 157 are selected. So that's how you do that.
Okay. And question: how can I back up photos with the same quality from Android to PC? For a reason, I cannot back it up at the same quality. It's just keeps getting smaller.
Well, maybe you have it set. Let me show you this. You probably have your backup and sync set to storage saver size, which I recommend. Let me go here, which I do recommend the storage saver size. But if you don't want that, if you want it to be original size, that's in your settings, and settings are under your account button, your little face in the upper right hand corner. Photos settings, backup and sync, and upload size. I have mine at storage saver, which means it compresses them. If you choose original quality instead, then at least I think that's what you're talking about. I'm not positive.
The pics are just literally with pixels. I'm not sure that helps.
Maybe he was talking about the free unlimited is only with Pixel phones. And only with Pixel phones 1 through 5. They've done away with free unlimited everywhere as of Pixel 6.
Gary says it's freezing on the eastern shore of Maryland. Well, it was nice here. We went diving today.
We did. I might show them some pictures.
Yeah. Can you tell us more about Google Photos PWA and if we should try it on our Windows computers? Like
There's
the
absolutely no
Androids?
reason why not to try it on your Windows computer, but I'm not ready to say a whole lot about it now. In case anybody knows what a PWA is, they can. Google Photos does have it available, and it is a little bit faster and works better on a computer or on a Chromebook.
Okay.
That's
From
it.
what he heard, the TFS on that's Tech for Senior. Let's put a plug in for Tech for Senior. Those guys get together and they give a lot of good technical advice. So PWAs live above the operating system and do not send roots into the operating system. So they're kind of in between. It stands for progressive web apps, and there are different ways of running web. It works with Google Maps, it works with Google Photos, and there's a lot there. All right. I missed time.
Now,
What?
Brian Matthews was one of the questions that came in before. Let's go ahead and finish. Let's go ahead and finish the questions that came in before so that
All right.
people know.
So we'll have to remember that one, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Go back to
Okay, I'm good. Linda, okay, we did that one. Bob Keefe, how do I make an album starting with a bunch of starred photos?
Okay. And for that, let me see. You could do it on either a computer or on the phone. Let me show it to you on the phone. And first of all, what are starred? Oh, here we go. We can show them what we did today. This is what we did today. We kayaked out in the ocean and went scuba diving. So let's say that I want, well, that's a video. Let's do a photo, and I want to star that. So that is now starred. Now I want to just look at my starred photos. Tap on search, and It's actually starred photos are called favorites. So now I am just seeing my favorite photos. And if I long press, notice once again the little check mark up in the top. And now I can check a bunch of other ones, however many photos, or I could, on a phone, I could just rub my finger down and I'm selecting all of them in between. When I have everything selected that I want to go into an album, you tap the plus and you create an album and then you give it a title. So, but I'm not going to. And so same thing on a computer, you can just view your favorites, select all the favorites that you want to go into an album, and click the plus, create an album with the photos selected.
Okay, Terry. Hello, y'all from Wisconsin All Computer. We love Geeks on Tour, and our members are asking for you again and often.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And yes, you put in to have us do a Zoom presentation in like October, right? It's on our
when
calendar.
I choose the frame from a motion photo, I want and tap on Save Copy, I get the message, Trouble Exporting Image. If it succeeds, how do I delete the rest?
Yeah, isn't that's a problem. I get that not all the time. I'd say it's a bug. It's a bug or it's an issue. And anything with an issue, you should send feedback. So let me go to my phone and show you what she's talking about. First of all, if I have a motion photo and I will search for motion photos. So I'm just getting motion. So there is a motion photo. And I just swipe up and now I see all the frames that are in that photo. And I can say, oh, I want that one and save copy. And let's see if it works. Sometimes at this point, you get an error message saying can't do it. One thing that I've discovered that even though I get an error message, if I go back later and look, it did do it. So sometimes, yeah, trouble exporting image. That's a problem. Step 1, ignore it, wait a while, go back and see if it did it anyway. And then your second question was, and I didn't. Maybe it did. No, it didn't, because those are both the save a copy will be a still image. It will not be a motion photo. Assuming it works, you have saved a copy that is a still image. Now you can go back and delete the original. But meanwhile, send feedback. Okay, so how do you send feedback? Under the account button and help and feedback and send feedback. You know, tell them they need to know. Save copy on motion photo is getting an error. Okay.
All right. Oops. Brian, can I create an album from each folder into Google Photos? Well, I have to change my day, month, and year system. And you have a video.
Video 710. See if that helps, Brian, because yes, you can create an album from each folder, but you have to do it one by one, folder by folder. If you use the drag and drop method, you drag a folder from your computer to Google Photos to a web browser. When it's done uploading, it asks, do you want to make an album out of this? And you just say yes. You have to type in the name. But you shouldn't have to change your system. But if you have hundreds of these and doing them one by one just isn't an option, no, there's no automatic way.
Gary, if I have photos attached to my old emails, either ones I've emailed or emails I've received, are these part of my 15 gigs of Google's free space?
Well, this is more a Google account issue rather than a Google Photos, but I believe the answer is yes, because your emails take up space in your Google account allotment. And an email with an attached photo is a lot bigger email than an email without an attached photo. So my answer is yes.
Timothy, when I download photos from Google Photos to my external drive, do they also come with the
Ah,
descriptions I've made on them?
no. And that is a real drag. And there's something about the technology of this. When you add a description to a photo using Google Photos, you're not actually adding it to that photo. You're adding it to the Google Photos database that has a reference to that photo. So when you download from Google Photos to your computer, you will lose that description. I hate that. There is one. Have you ever tried using Google Takeout? Google Takeout is the system that Google offers to get all of your data down to your computer from all of your Google services, including Google Photos. Now, on its own, Google Takeout is a bit of a mess, but it does actually get that database of descriptions. Then I have only recently learned, because of my fellow Google Photos experts. I mean, I actually have people that I get to ask questions of. My fellow Google Photos experts found this website called metadatafixer.com. And it works pretty good. So if you use Takeout to download a bunch of photos, then you run metadatafixer.com on that Takeout, it puts the descriptions back with the photos. Phew.
Okay, that was good. Okay, here are the owl questions. How do you find a photo on your cell if it is not in an album and you have not titled it with a name? Go by
Okay.
the date.
I mean, all photos are in there by date, so that's great. But what if you don't know the date that something was? Well, that's the best part of Google Photos is the search. I mean, I was looking for something. Oh yeah, I I scanned a photo of myself as a teenager when I was in a drill team, and I did not put any text on it, and who knows what date I put on it. But I know that in this photo, I was wearing white boots. I hope this works. And I just entered white boots, if I could spell, and search. And it's going to find a bunch of other things. Oh, that was a. um, but there we go. There is me as a teenager in my drill team, my Titaneers uniform with white boots. So just search anything you're looking for. Google knows how to read the photos and just search for it. If you know the date, that's great. It will absolutely be by date, but search.
Okay, how can I move photos from album to another album on a PC? And will that transfer to my phone?
First of all, Google Photos is one thing, so it is synchronized between the web and your phone. So anything that you do on the web, you will see on your phone and vice versa. Now, how you copy. So I'm looking at my photos, I go to albums, and here, let's see, that's Geeks teaching. So I've just collected photos over the years of Jim and I, Geeks on Tour, teaching our stuff. If I wanted to copy this photo and this photo to another album, I would just select them and add to another album. Instead of clicking new album, I just find whatever other album I want to put them in. And if I do, I'll go ahead and put that right now. So I just selected 2 photos from the Geeks teaching album, and I'm going to put them into the class edit examples. They're still in the Geeks teaching album, but if I click on one and click the I, notice it shows me over here all the albums. There's one photo, but it is showing up in class edit examples, Geeks teaching, and Jim and Chris, and all 2014. So one picture can be in many albums. Select them and add them to whatever album you want.
I've been trying to delete some old photos and I have not found a way on the PC to delete multiple photos all at once. Very similar.
Now that is the one, yeah, that he asked it live too. Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
So we did answer that one.
Okay.
The issue is selecting rather than opening.
All right. This time, the start of the show, I've asked about creating albums for my folder.
Same thing. This is the one that I said
Okay.
to drag and drop. Drag a folder to Google Photos, and it will create. You can then create an album out of it.
Right on. Picasso is discontinued. How do we know if Google Photos won't be discontinued as well?
Well, you don't completely. However, Google Photos, I mean, other than just search, I believe Google Photos is their most popular software ever. I think it's up to 2 billion or nearly 2 billion users worldwide. If they discontinued Google Photos, I think it would only happen because Google died. And if Google dies, we got a lot more problems than than our photos. So that's all I can say. Google Photos is so big that I really don't think there's a danger.
I seem to have, well, we've seen that before.
That's another duplicate question. Sorry.
If you delete photos, does that decrease the amount in Google Photos if you delete them?
Yes. Yes, it does. But realize, first of all, it takes a while. If you're looking at your Google account and where it says, Google Photos is using 6 gigabytes of space. First of all, a gigabyte is a lot. So you have to delete a lot of photos to see the 6 gigabytes go down to 5 gigabytes. And number 2, those numbers don't update very quickly. Yeah, I've seen a lot of messages about, I deleted all this and it still says I have 6 gigabytes. You have to wait.
Yeah. Murray says Picasso used to have a beta feature to delete duplicates, so they do definitely have the technology. He can do it using Linux. Okay, so any of you who want to,
but that's on a hard drive.
That's not in the cloud.
Files, pictures stored in the web are a completely different animal. I mean, pictures stored on your hard drive, they're in defined folders. Pictures stored on the internet, in the web, online, in the cloud, who knows? Google might be spreading your photos over multiple different systems. and then but with all marked and bringing them together. So it's I know of no tools for deduping on the web. There's lots of tools for deduping on the computer.
Philly suburbs are watching. It's cold up there too this week. Stay warm.
Hello.
Sheila,
Hey,
good to
Sheila.
see you. Bob, you stopped pre-submitted questions just as you were going to answer mine.
Oh,
Where
did
are
we?
we? Where's Bob's? Put it back in there.
Bob Keefe. Okay, I once saw you create. Here's his question. I once saw you create a photo album using flagged photos. Favorite or oh no, we did that one. It was how do you make an album out of a bunch of favorites, the starred ones. Okay, so I think we did get back to it. Hopefully, if not, you can contact us later.
Yeah.
And if you are a Geeks on Tour member, we have the Ask the Geeks that you can ask us anything, anytime. It's called a
Q&A forum.
forum. It's called a forum, the Q&A forum, but either Jim or I promise to respond to any question posed in our Q&A forum.
Yeah, we don't promise to answer, but we do promise to respond. So
We don't always know the answer.
Tom says he used to get emails daily from OneDrive about my memories for this day. What was that about? And they seem to have stopped for his OneDrive.
Well, I wonder if your OneDrive. Now, people are saying, well, what does this have to do with Google Photos? I highly recommend that even if you're using Google Photos, that you use one more cloud storage service just in case something happens with your Google Photos account. So, and I recommend OneDrive. So when I take a photo, my pictures go to Google Photos. They also go to OneDrive. And OneDrive has lots of similar features. For example, the memories from 2 years ago. I wonder, have you opened your OneDrive app on your phone to check and see that your photos are still being uploaded? You do have to open these things to make them go, because I'm still getting those messages from OneDrive about my memories from 2 years ago. So it is not a change in OneDrive. I would open the OneDrive app on your phone and see that it's still working.
Okay, Diane has an iPhone. If I use the Google app, will my photos be in both my Google Photos and my iPhone photos?
Yes. But you might be saying in your iCloud. See, when you take a picture, that picture is stored on your phone in your camera roll. In the camera stores your photo. On an iPhone, if you have Google Photos installed, Google Photos will see those photos in your camera roll. So will your Apple photos. Now, whether or not they're getting uploaded to the Apple Cloud, the iCloud, depends on whether you have that turned on. But very likely you do, in which case, and as is the case with my iPhone, I take a picture with my iPhone, that picture gets uploaded to Google Photos and it gets uploaded to iCloud, Apple Photos. The picture is only on my device once, but it's been copied to the Google Cloud and to the Apple Cloud. And yeah, that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do.
Finally located a group of photos. Can I rename all at once?
You can't even rename at all. Have people? I remember feeling quite shocked when I realized that Google Photos doesn't care about the name at all. When a file is stored in the cloud, it has a long hash name depending on where it is and all sorts of things. The file name that your phone gave it does not matter to Google Photos at all, and it gives you no options to change it. Now, if the photos are on your computer, your Windows or your Mac system can select a bunch and rename them. Yes. But Google Photos? No.
I am a confirmed Picasso user, but realize I must change to Google Photos. I suppose I should go to YouTube and start the painful process, relearning, editing, yada, yada. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Picasa still works on the computer, but it no longer on Windows computers, not on Mac at all. But it no longer has the ability to send photos via email or up to the cloud or anywhere. So all you can do with it is manage your photos on your local hard drive. And yeah, Google Photos is where Google is going. Google made Picasa. In case people don't know, Picasa was Google's computer picture management program. Now it's Google Photos. And, the best YouTube channel to learn this stuff is, well, either Geeks on Tour, or we have a special Learn Google Photos YouTube channel. And actually, it's the book. It's the if you're going to just go from beginning, I think our book is the best way to go. There's even a chapter in the book about if you're starting with Picasa and you now want to go to Google Photos. So this is the book.
And if you want one autographed, I know where you can get that too. So that's pretty cool.
And what Jim was talking about earlier about how the book is alive on on page 3, this book is alive. There's a QR code there and a web page. And if you go to that web page, there's we have videos per each chapter in the book too.
All right, where am I? That one. Can you delete one or more frames in a motion photo?
No, you can't delete any frames. A motion photo is actually 3 seconds of video. So you can't delete anything out of there. You can select one frame and save out as a still photo, and you can select as many frames as you want and save them out as a still photo if it works, that is, which I'm having errors on it. But you can't delete frames out of it. No.
Okay, Bill says photos recently released a tool to suggest deleting blurred photos out of your storage.
Yeah, that's in the storage. It's not actually in Google Photos proper. It's in your Google account storage. There are some tools to free up to get rid of some stuff out of your Google account so that you have more space in your Google account. And Blurry Photos is one of them.
Al, if I move photo in another album, can I delete it from the album that I moved it from?
No, no, don't do that. The photo is only in there once. This is what is so different about the cloud and albums from what we're used to with computers and folders. When you add the photo to another album, it's just virtual. It's just telling the second album to look to that photo. There's only one photo. It's showing up in 2 albums, but if you delete it out of either album, you can remove it from the album. Oh, that might be what you mean. Yeah, you can remove a photo from showing up in the album, but if you actually delete the photo, then it's gone. Yeah, you can remove it from the album that you yeah, so if you say, "Hey, this photo is in album A, and I really think it belongs in album B and not in album A." Yes, 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 absolutely, you can do that. But it's called remove from album, not not delete.
Okay. Bill says it's important to empty the trash after moving deleted photos to the trash. Yes. Just free up space on your
Yeah,
device.
if your goal is freeing up space, then it is important. Yes.
Right. Albums are really tags, not the same thing as folders are, right?
Right. Right. Exactly.
If you delete an album, you don't delete the photos. If you delete a folder, yep.
Very good. Perfect. Yes, that's absolutely true.
Yep. Hear it from somebody else. How do I transfer a Google photo to Family Tree Maker? That's another program.
Yeah, I don't use Family Tree Maker, so I don't know exactly. Some other systems, for example, photo. I
I
can't
would
think
say
of it
you
right now.
probably have to download it to your computer and then upload it to Family Tree Maker.
Right.
That would
That
be
that
my.
you can absolutely do, but Family Tree Maker might have a link directly into your Google Photos, but that's up to Family Tree Maker to have implemented that.
Okay. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Why doesn't this search for a named person plus something like red coat always work? Why does everything not always work perfectly?
Yeah. In fact, sometimes it worked yesterday and it doesn't work today.
It's the
Actually, it
algorithm.
almost always does work. If it worked once, it will almost always work again. Search for a named person plus something like red coat. Well, one issue, I'm not sure, but one issue is, have you actually given the person a name, and is it one name or is it two names? Anytime there's spaces involved, it can get messed up. But I don't know. Yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Richard, I use OneDrive, Amazon Photos, and a portable backup drive to have all my photos. I think they're in Dropbox as well.
Isn't that
A
something?
man with belt and suspenders and maybe overshoes. Weird. All right. We have some agreement with Chris. I don't know if I agree, but large Gmail are taking up a lot of space in some cases. Gmail using more storage than photos. Wow, you must have a lot of attachments.
Well, my Gmail takes up more than photos because I never
Well,
erase
you never delete
anything
it.
else. No. And
I
most of
do.
my photos were uploaded before the switch, so I had it unlimited for free.
Joel says you can search on a file name even if you can't change it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Google Photos does see the name, but it doesn't use it anywhere. Yeah.
Picasso still works on Linux.
Yay!
Okay. Linux is great. Anybody else here using it?
Not me. So Alnet
Okay.
remove. Yeah, I'm glad I thought of that before I finished answering that question.
We're at the end.
Hey, all right, and it is 1 hour.
Man, this works out great.
It does.
And
Unless, is there anybody?
I don't see any more questions in the comments here. And
Okay.
it's checking everything. We did all of the others, and
All right,
I
great.
do want to remind you folks, if you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel or channels. We have two channels that we use. One is Learn Google Photos, and the other one is geeksontour.com. That's our main place. So yeah, check that out. If you're on Facebook, make sure you like us, give us a thumbs up, do all the things that you know you should do. A lot of you, it really does help us along the way. So we think we have a neat product and we have a fun time doing it, and we love interacting with you folks and each other. So
At the very least, make sure that you subscribe to our newsletter. If you just go to geeksontour.com, there's a button right there at the beginning for our free newsletter. Then you'll keep in touch. You know,
Yep.
you'll know when we're doing this again. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Thanks
We
again.
do plan to do one of our What Does This Button Do shows this Sunday, because then we're going on a dive trip in the Maldives in the Indian Ocean, and you might not be seeing much of us
Yeah.
because we'll
Okay.
be
Thanks,
underwater.
Al. Thanks, Tom, Marty. Okay. Who else? Gary. We appreciate all of you. I'm going to end this, and we'll see you next time. Stay tuned. Bye.
Bye.